anymore. Ruben and his staff will style you to perfection every time. Sharp Image is always running specials plus some exclusive deals with some of the future barbers that Ruben is training today. Yeah, he trains them. Find Sharp Image on Facebook or call 860-591-1177. Sharp Image Barbershop in the former Aramoni's Bakery. It's not a bakery anymore. A proud sponsor of Griswold High School Sports.
Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations.
Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
Let's face it, most of our expenses are on the rise, but your insurance doesn't have to be one of them. The Burns Agency can quote your home, auto, business insurance with any of our 30-plus top-rated insurance companies. Let's be sure you're getting the best available pricing with quality service from experienced staff. Call, email, or visit us online to see what the Burns Agency can do for you. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Better. Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
People say it all the time. I love to support local business. Look to a business that also supports the community in return. If you're looking for both of these qualifications, then Winton Automotive on North Main Street, Jewett City should be your choice for auto repair. Ken Winton is local, but supports local teams all year long. From oil changes to engine repair, Winton Automotive can do it all. Find them on Facebook or go to a youth sporting event and you'll probably see Winton Automotive on somebody's jersey. Winton Automotive, North Main Street, Jewett City, proud sponsor of Wolverine Athletics.
Your community radio. Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And when they are stupid, it's funny.
Well, we are pretty much right back on Main Street again, it seems like. Paul's grunting. Chris says hello.
Hello. Yeah. I haven't seen Chris in a while.
Yeah.
Forgot what he looked like.
I see him walking down the road.
I'm like a ninja. I'm stealthy.
Stealthy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just said we haven't seen him in a while. That's all.
So my computer says 61 degrees and sunny.
61 degrees, huh?
Is your computer in Maine?
Mine says 57. So
does it? Yeah. So it's very hot here. It's
How
very
hot is
here.
it, Mike?
Oh my God. So we have windows open in here, so we'll probably hear traffic. But we did that at 2 North Main Street too. Yeah. So it was all right. So I don't mind that noise. I think it's kind of cool. You know,
next look, people think we're outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Station down the street.
But there's no cross breeze.
Yeah.
Till we get two heroin addicts outside having a fight on the street.
Yeah. And you're in a spot where you really can't get a breeze coming in the window either, because you got that building blocking that window. And this is kind of like, unless the breeze is coming from the west or from the east, rather.
We'll go back to the Egyptian times date, Paul. I'll cool you off with a huge fan.
Yeah. It's Paul.
Just this huge fan.
Yeah.
Paul remembers those days.
Yeah. So one thing we haven't done at all
Ever.
is is ask Chris anything.
That's true.
We haven't done Ask Chris anything for a while.
You know what, Mike? You know what?
What's that?
I may not know the answer, but I'll be happy to make something up for you.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to ask Chris anything, then that would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
For some reason, you guys seem to just keep moving out of the window.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that better? Is that better?
A little bit.
Are you getting my good side?
Except these cameras have got to be moved. They're not conducive.
Yeah, we'll get them right one of these days.
Huh? Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah, these cameras have been moved so long, they think they're in another house.
I think we put them on a track and just have them continuously circling the table.
There you go.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, until all your audience throws up. We can motion sickness.
We can buy Mr. Rogers' trolley.
Yeah.
Just said choo choo,
Ching ching.
or choo choo from Railroad Salvage.
Oh boy.
Oh, railroad salvage. That's something I
yeah.
haven't heard
Thomas
in
the
a long
Train?
time. Haven't
I
heard
remember
that in
going
a
to
long
railroad
time.
salvage. Down in Groton.
Here's the big question. First one.
I have one.
Local celebrity, first selectman, Kevin Cunningham.
Kevin.
How's Surge, by the way? Have you seen him? Have you seen him lately?
Word up, Kev.
You go, where has Chris been?
Chris has been busy. I've had some medical issues to deal with at my house. Not me, but other members of my household have taken a little bit of my time with medical issues.
Yeah.
So family first.
Splinters.
Yes. Family comes first, of course.
Yep.
And then I've been busy making movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm filming again on Thursday.
Is that the baseball one?
Nope.
Nope.
That's the second one in the anthology for veterans with PTSD.
What, the baseball one?
No. The one I'm filming
you're
on
doing. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the one I'm doing on Thursday. Baseball one, I need to set up a table to read, but yeah, 'tis the season, so I'm staying very busy.
Good.
Thanks for
Um,
asking, Kevin.
There's Donna pretty much asks the same thing. What have you been up to?
Making movies.
There we go.
5'8" and growing.
I don't know if you saw the screen grabs from this latest one that
I
we did.
did.
Eaton.
I did. The fight scene or whatever. And
Let me just tell you,
Yeah.
it was amazing being on that set. One, the actors are just stellar. They're just fantastic.
you're welcome.
And they really, really sold their characters. But
It
the other
wasn't
thing
me.
was we had such a amazing crew that I basically just stood there waiting to say action and cut.
Mm.
Because as soon as we'd cut, they'd all be like this hive mind mentality. Okay, we need to set the lights over here. The cameras are going to go over here. And I just sat there and I watched them. And it was phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to the final cut of this one.
So what's the next one you're doing? What's Sam?
What's Thursday or what's the baseball one?
Well, we can talk about both. I mean, what's the next one you're filming?
The next one is called To the Last Man. It's
To the Last Man.
To the Last Man. It's part of an anthology series about veterans with PTSD. Not the typical fare where they fall into that 22 a day category, but more just how they deal with it on a day-to-day basis. We've already shot the first one. We're filming the second one Thursday, and then moving on to the remainder. There's going to be 6 total.
Got it.
And then
Shattered Heart's part of that, right?
Shattered
the one
Heart-
we did right
yeah,
here.
Shattered Heart is chapter 1.
Got it.
And I'm excited to see that cut also.
Yeah, well, that was done 6 months ago now, and
Yeah.
How long ago did we do that?
About
2 months.
I want to say more. I think we filmed in January. Yeah.
Hey, it's possible.
Yeah.
I was excited to see that, and then
Well, you can still be excited. It will get done, whether I have to do it myself or
before or after the apocalypse. Figures the one I'm in that I have a little part in.
It might be slightly after the apocalypse, but yeah, and then we're rolling into our next one that we do, our one a month thing called Turn 2. It's a baseball movie about an old first baseman having to train a young first baseman and the drama that goes on between them.
I thought it was about swingers.
It is swinging bats.
See?
And let me just clarify: baseball
bats. Sarah says, "Good morning, Sarah. Do you have a question for Chris? It's an Ask Chris Anything Friday.
Why am I so devilishly good looking?
Why, Chris? You know what? I will ask that. Why are you so devilishly good looking?
It's genetics. Yeah,
genetics.
It skipped a generation.
It
Yeah.
did.
I love you, Mom.
Paul, do you have any comment on Chris's devilishly good looks?
No comment.
He was
All I
posing.
know, if my dog looked like that, I'd make him walk backwards.
Would you shave its butt too?
Yeah.
Okay.
You asked me a question, I gave you an
Yes.
answer.
Yes.
I want to know if you're gonna finish Yellowstone.
Soon as it shows up,
It's gonna show up. Some bad rumors about that one.
Sarah wants to know, what is your favorite topping on toast, seeing as she's eating toast right now?
Have you ever heard of marmalade?
No.
Marmalade is an English honey style sugary
Jelly.
It's like super sticky, so you don't want to touch
Wait a
it.
minute. Sarah's from the UK, by the way, just so you know.
Okay, Sarah, marmalade. Period.
She goes, love it.
See, it's a thing.
Isn't it just jelly?
No.
No.
It's more like a honey.
Oh,
It's
You have it on-
golden and it's just it's drippy like syrup and it's so good.
Is it on a crumpet?
You can have it on a crumpet. You can have it on
I
a
mean,
stone.
she's from UK, so I'm just asking.
she just said toast. Paul,
well.
I said she
Oh,
said I'm eating toast.
Oh, she's
Oh, is it a crumpet?
she's a
Yes.
she's a Martin Day English.
It's a
person.
scone.
It's good to know Paul's paying attention today.
Tea and crumpets.
And Sarah,
Is
it's
she
nice to
having
hear
tea?
from another Brit.
And Chris, did you know Seville oranges make the best? If I see any, I will make some for you.
I'm going to be on the lookout for Seville oranges now.
Oh.
Daryl says, please pass the jelly points if you know what that is from.
Jelly?
Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter Tea Party.
I don't know, but it's not an Ask Daryl anything.
Yeah, where's
so
that from?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Where's the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City,
There you go, Daryl.
right next to
Yeah.
Paul's
right
Pot
next
Farm.
to Paul's Pot Farm. We're walking the dogs yesterday, and in the park, and we come around towards the gazebo. There's a family over there with dogs, and I started like a dog. I'm like, wait a minute.
That don't smell like dog
No, and it certainly doesn't smell like cigarette smoke either.
poop. Ew.
So the lady comes over with the kid and wants to start petting the dog. I said, oh, hey. And I said, and she's smoking. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry the cigarette smoke is getting in your face. So, that's okay. And I said, yeah, but that's not what I'm smelling, though, is it? And she goes, oh, no, it's not.
And the 4-year-old looks up at you and goes, dude, you want to hit?
Well, it's legal. They can do what they want.
He's 4. It's not legal for a 4-year-old.
Well, not a
Is it?
4-year-old.
Anyway, Daryl said it was an old Smucker's commercial.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Smuckers, yeah, they've been around a long
Carbon
time.
dating yourself, Daryl.
About Polliner All Fruit,
Yeah.
right?
That's all right.
You ever see the commercials for that? Please pass the All Fruit. You mean the jelly?
Yeah.
And everybody stops.
You said the J word.
It's jelly. It's not jelly. It's fruit. That was a fun commercial. Anybody else with an Ask Chris Anything question?
I triple dog dare you.
Ooh, the triple dog dare has been dropped.
Reaching protocol. I went directly past the second doggy dare straight to the triple doggy dare.
Here's the last message I got from Josh just now. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh, man. Chris, is it going to cool down in here today?
Yes, it is. I'm predicting sometime around midnight.
Actually, if you think about it, most houses get hot at night. So I think your prediction may be off.
You know what I need to do?
What?
I need to splash a little bit more water on the rocks.
it's
That would be
get
cool.
the steam in here a little bit.
Yeah, we get a little steam, a little humidity.
It's like Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, at midnight, what's the temperature? 103.
Yeah.
It's a scorcher.
Well, it got hot real quick, but it's going to go back to spring next week. So
So what is this? What are we in now?
Pre-summer.
tropical. No, they say it's going back down to 50s next week.
I think my was it Peggy, my friend Peggy in Utah, said that it was 80 degrees and then it was snowing the next day.
It can happen.
It can happen, I guess.
This
I-
is
I
New
think it
England.
was
It
her that said
snowed
it.
in May, so
Peggy
Well-
hasn't checked into the show lately, so I don't.
Yeah.
If she's
We
there.
could get 3 inches of snow by one day. Who the hell knows?
mhm.
New England.
Yeah.
You never know.
So anyway, the subject of the show is Coach Fire. what are we expecting from our workforce these days? You know, that's probably one of the biggest questions. And by the way, don't stop from asking questions for Chris. You know, we'll still drop them in there too.
I think that the 80-20 rule definitely applies to retail. And I worked in retail for nearly 20 years. So I think I've got a little bit of a background where I can say it.
Oh, I'm right with you, dude.
80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. The problem is management typically ignores the 80% of the people and puts more workload on the 20% of the people instead of doing what they're meant to do is coach, fire.
Well,
I don't think that's only related to retail.
No, but I'm just saying in a retail environment.
I think in retail, it's expected that you get a different type of employee, more so than in an office environment. Not because people can't handle it, but because people naturally won't apply because they feel they're not qualified when they very well might be. I mean, the 80-20 rule, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
What I found years ago in a retail environment is that people would get away with almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
They would get away with they have an excuse, especially with everything being HR driven now.
I'm going to rephrase that. Management would let them get away with anything,
or HR,
or HR would let them.
And why do you think that is?
Well,
people don't like confrontation, so they ignore it.
It's no accountability,
right?
Yeah, but the question is now, is it worse? I think it's 10 times worse now.
Oh, yeah,
because now I think you're just putting bodies in.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not based on.
And with today's woke society, you know, it's hard to be confrontational with an employee because they'll claim it's due to something.
Yeah.
Whether it's race, sex, gender, they'll say, "Oh, well, you're only saying that because I'm a fill in the blanks."
Yeah. No, you're right. That's exactly what it is. They don't necessarily hire the best people either. They have to hire based on whatever.
Well, I think they have to.
Which
they
is,
have to,
go ahead.
Okay. Good.
Go ahead.
Chris, you go because we're going to fight it out.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to fight it out.
I think it's you're hiring who's applying. I don't think it's so much, the type of people.
Right.
I think you're hiring who's applying right now.
Because there's no workers. Makes a good
That's
point.
exactly what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Well, especially in retail. I mean, you're basically hiring kids that just graduated that aren't going off to college.
And college isn't for everybody.
Right. I agree.
No.
Hey, Melissa. Oh, she's actually listening.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey. By the way, do you have a question for Ask Chris Anything? She says because they don't want to be sued for unlawful termination.
Connecticut,
and that's a big thing.
But Connecticut is an at-will state.
Yeah.
So at least in this state, they can fire you just because they want to fire you.
Well, we all know there's some wild interpretations of law, right?
Mhm.
I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not even going to try to interpret it. So I can tell you this, that I had a situation at one time where I had a lady that was a marketing rep working, with advertising with us. And she decided that she wanted to leave, and that's okay, fine. Then she filed for unemployment, but she was a 1099 employee or 1099. She wasn't an employee. So she was, her own taxes or whatever. So there was an account that she felt that she should have gotten paid right through the year.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, well, are you going to, we actually got investigated. And the Department of Labor rep came in. I said, well, who's gonna go ahead and maintain that account? I said, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna come in even though she doesn't have anything to do with us anymore and maintain the account and get different copy, check with them, and see if their promotions are the same, blah blah blah. No, I got to do it, or somebody else has got to do it, and she wants to get paid for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So anyway, I ended up winning that case, but they turned around and they said to me, well, she was an employee. No,
She was a contractor.
She was a contractor, right. But because she had, this is the state now, because she had access to a working environment that made her an employee. So it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to interpret it the way they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that interpretation came with? A $300 fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than a year's worth
I
of
mean,
salary.
talk about fishing for a money grab.
Yeah.
Now, what we had to do was if we had, and I was involved with that myself, if I was working as a vendor working for a company, I had to work a certain period of time, and then I was told I had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I had to leave for like 30 days. And by leaving that 30 days, I got away. This employee thing was null and void. And that's how they got around that. You would work a certain period of time. Once
Got
that time period is up, you were let go for 30 days, and then you came back and started all over again. And I was involved with that because I had to leave.
Yeah.
You know the
Same
simplest
thing.
way to avoid a wrongful termination suit?
Don't fire him.
Coach, fire.
Really,
If you do coach, fire,
yeah.
But
There-
you don't want to fire these days. I'll tell you why.
but there isn't
I
a
think-
lawyer out there that will look at that case and think he can win it.
If you're going to coach, fire, you better coach, write down what you're talking
Well,
about.
part of-
and keep a record of it, and then you
Part
can
of
fire.
coach, fire is documentation.
Documentation.
First one is a verbal, second is a written with a warning, third one is a written with a fire warning, and the fourth one is fire.
Yeah.
We told you how to fix it. We told you how to fix it otherwise. We told you how to fix it or you'd be fired. We're in the fourth step now. You're fired.
Yeah.
Okay. And I understand that. But let's go back to what I said about what happened to me personally, right?
Right.
So now we have a person who says he was trying to file unemployment, couldn't get it because I said they were a 1099 employee. So, and gave all the documentation for it. Well, they still found something to find me with.
Oh, sure. Sure.
So because I didn't handle the employee or with the state or whatever properly.
Yeah.
But the difference is here.
And they want to hire people.
But the difference here is she quit. You didn't fire.
No.
So it wasn't a wrongful termination.
No.
So
That is correct. Well,
Yeah.
no, we weren't talking wrongful termination. I'm just talking about somebody that was trying to collect money.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And really, because this person left voluntarily, still trying to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
They actually can appeal, and the employer has to go before the board at the state
Yep.
along with the person that's trying to collect, and
Yep.
you have to plead your case right there.
Along with the documentation that you
Yeah,
now
I
have
know.
from coach, fire,
Yeah, because I've
the
been
state
at
will
a couple of
waive
those
it every
myself.
time.
Melissa says, I know several instances of it in my facility alone, and the facility lost. So now they give multiple chances before the person is terminated.
Coach, fire.
I don't think that holds up, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it looks good. I think it looks good, for the organization that does that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that's the coup de grace. I think that is just, okay, this is what you did. But the state or whoever, they're still going to look at both sides. And if they don't get you for one thing, if they're involved, they're going to get you for something else.
Well, the other side of this is coach, fire doesn't mean they won't collect unemployment. Coach, fire is to protect you from a wrongful termination.
Right. But I've seen instances in that where they have gone ahead and disputed the
Termination?
not so much eventually, yeah, ultimately, yes. But the warning, the verbal, the
Mhm.
written, because even a verbal is a written,
Right.
because it's documented,
Yeah.
right? Then you have first, second, and then final, whatever, depending. Every company has it differently, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like Verizon was verbal, written, second written, final written, termination. So
Right.
the fifth step was the step out the door.
But each one of those writtens, you have to give a consequence to.
That doesn't mean anything to the state.
No, but it means something to the employee.
Yeah, but if they don't really care and they're not engaged, it's not going to matter because that person, okay, think about it too. if they're not engaged in their job
Mhm.
or they don't want to work,
Right.
what do you think they're looking to do?
Collect
Unemployment.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if that matters because you can sit there and coach all you want, but if they're not buying into it and they're looking to just kind of walk and collect,
Right.
you know, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not disputing it. But I think sometimes it's
Now, one place.
oh
that-
yeah, look, Laura just said if you even if you have documentation, they still rule in favor of the former employee. I've had employees quit without notice and they file for unemployment and still are able to collect. It's insane.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not that you're not doing the right thing.
Right.
It's the state going, well, yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing that I'm not sure of is the 90-day rule. I know a lot of companies out there have a 90-day, what they call evaluation period.
Sure, there is. It's still there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's different coach, fire before the 90 days or coach, fire after the 90 days.
Oh, I'm not
I
sure
think at
about
90
that part.
days, they
I think
become.
coach fire is a thing that for a company you worked for because I'd never even heard of coach fire.
Just
Okay.
probably
be honest-
a
no, I'm
it's just
serious.
A different name.
I think they call it like Verizon just called it, like I said,
Right.
verbal first,
Well, all the
second.
big boxes that I worked for,
Yeah.
and I worked for a lot of the big boxes, they all had variations of that same theme. Coach, fire.
Right. But I've never heard it called that,
Right.
you know. But there are different variations of it, and I
Mhm.
think if HR is handling it, they're pretty much knowing what's going on in that state.
Mm-hmm.
I would think now the rules are even changed even more for the employee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the
Employee-
bells of the
employer
Bronx.
doesn't have much of a shot at all anymore.
Oh no.
No.
No. They're gonna. Like I said earlier, they're gonna get you. I got fined
Mhm.
for $300. It had nothing to do with this lady filing for unemployment.
Yeah.
And wanted. No, she didn't get a dime. She didn't get unemployment, and she didn't get the commission that she thought she was due while she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I was flipping up double birds at her, and
Yeah, I was going to say, so in hindsight, not paying her a year's salary is much better than paying a $300 fine.
yeah. I still didn't want to pay the damn $300 fine.
Oh, no.
I did. I think another thing that is here's something I did. I just took somebody off the schedule.
Yeah.
Or I would give them one shift a week,
Mm-hmm.
like 6 hours or 4 hours.
But they have to be classified as part-time for that.
Huh?
You can't do that to a full-timer. They have to be classified as a part-timer.
Right. But does anybody really hire quote unquote full time anymore? You see what I mean? That there's the
Right. Designated.
Radio Shack back in the day didn't hire full. The only people that were full time were the store manager.
Right.
That was it. Everybody, to your point, were at will employees.
Mm-hmm. If they work over 32 hours a week on a running average, I think it's
Right.
6 months.
Yep.
So if they fall below that 32 hours, they're considered part-time.
Yeah, but you can still take them off the schedule
Right.
because if they quit, that's on them.
Right.
And I never had a problem with that. Or you're in a different atmosphere.
Yep.
So
Most of the employees that work for me were salaried.
Sawi.
Salaried.
Celery.
This is Sawi.
Yeah. We didn't have very little hourly employees.
Right.
Not in a professional environment like that.
Right.
No.
So I don't know. I think it's a lot of it is company by company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they call it different things. I think Melissa said it's 12 weeks, not 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't.
Actually,
sure.
is it a 13 week?
I have no idea.
Yeah. And some employees know how to play the game too.
Oh, absolutely.
They do
Oh,
big time.
yeah.
I had a woman that worked for me who somehow was able to get FMLA because she couldn't get up in the morning. Right? She was late every day.
It's how you word the document.
So I'm not sure how this person did it, but she could be late every day. In order to be late every day, she had to call me.
Okay. So every morning.
Every morning, she had to call me and say, I'm going to be late. Well, one particular morning, she didn't call me. She didn't call me because we were late. So I told my director, I said, she didn't call me. Immediately went to HR, put the documents in, and fired her right then and there because they had the opportunity to do it. You know,
So they just waited for her to
they waited
weed
for the
herself
opportune
out.
time and then found it, and then the person was gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The problem with today's retail environment is,
Is it just retail though?
well,
Chris, is it
I'm just
retail?
saying
Yeah.
retail again because I know retail
Right.
is when managers don't follow some kind of variation of coach, fire. What happens is they're ignoring bad behavior. So the 20% that's doing all the work see this and either become a bad employee or leave because they feel like they're being abused.
You're right.
So you end up getting more and more of the less desirable employees.
Right.
Well, there's always going to be the victim or the one that thinks they're the victim.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be just that one job. It's going to be the next job and the next job and the next job.
Right.
But and the other thing too is a lot of management people aren't managers. They don't know how to manage people.
They're just check collectors.
I mean, that's it. A lot of them, you know, what I found, in respect to engineers, but usually engineers made the worst freaking administrators, you know, because they were, everything had to be, you know, right on, you know, you couldn't be 2 points off. But I found those people were rough as far as managers go.
Just because you're good with something doesn't mean you're good with people.
Right. And there are a lot of people they put in positions to be a manager have no clue on how to manage. A lot of people, they micromanage you. You know, they try to do the job for you. The whole idea of being managers to let people do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You hire these people, you hire good people to do a job, and you want them to do that job. You don't step in there and try to tell them how to do it.
I never micromanaged.
And that's how you get creativity out of people. You let them do it.
One, you let them swing for the fences.
Yeah, you let them do it.
Let them swing. And two, you catch them doing something right instead of doing something wrong.
Right. And you give them that you give them that opportunity. A lot of them would go over backwards for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a lot of good people that worked for me. I did get on their cases. You know,
I told everybody that worked for me, I want you to screw up.
Yeah.
I want you to screw up honestly.
Yeah. And learn from it.
And learn from it.
Yeah.
I said that's how you're going to be a valuable employee to this company is if you screw up.
Yeah.
And you learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, there were things that they knew that I didn't know. So I had to depend on them to tell me how to. I didn't know anything about
None of us
some
is as smart as all of us.
True.
That's Chris's third rule in three rules of retail.
I always empowered everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Make a decision.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You know, I could totally confuse this one guy one day, and it was like his third day, and I said to him, he came to me with an interesting scenario. This was at Verizon Wireless, and I said, "What do you want to do?" What? Yeah, what do you want to do? What do you think is right in this situation? He goes, why are you asking me? I said, because I want to empower you to learn to make these choices in this company, which I did for everybody. I didn't just picky choose people. And how all of a sudden, what the reaction I always got, well, most of the time was, you trust me? You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, they're engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about the paycheck 90% of the time. It's
Right.
the attaboy, the attagirl.
They want to feel
stuff.
good about doing their job.
Huh?
They want to feel good about doing their job.
Sure you do.
Exactly.
You know, and then I've had bosses or have managers that they take credit for what you do.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you do something great, and they sit there and take the credit for what you did.
I've had employees that I've told that too, say, go ahead. I want you to make that decision. Well, what decision? What do you want me to do? It's up to you. I want you, here's the thing is if it's good for the customer, if it's good for the company, you do it.
Swing for the fences.
End of story, right? I mean, because that's it. you have to, it has to be mutual. You have to be, and there were many times where they would go out, make a decision. It was very customer laced, meaning they got everything they wanted, and then they would come back, and then I would tell them, I disagree with your decision, but here's why. And then I would validate the points. I would never yell at somebody and say, you screwed up. You cost us all kinds of. No, I never did that. It was always, okay, I didn't agree with this. However, this is, but they always knew they were off the hook because I told them.
Just swing for the fences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just do what you feel is best. Now, with that coaching, people will then go ahead. This is just my thing. They learned what the company was looking for, but they also learned limitations. And that was the thing. I always had people just do what they want, not what they wanted to do, but what they felt was best. Yep. And it's like, I even told this one guy, he goes, I can't make a decision. This is, why do you think I hired you? He goes, what do you mean? I said, I could hire anybody and throw them in there and then get a robot and put it in there. I said, but you're a person. I want you to go ahead and interact and do what you feel is right. We'll learn from here.
Yeah, you're enabling them.
Yeah.
That person went on to be a district manager. So,
yep.
Let's go this one first. Victoria says, I went to Coles in Dayville the other day. I was talking to an employee. He said, look at all the workers on shift, all over 50 years old. He said, the young people just call out and don't show up for the shifts. He said, the older people are the ones that show up to cover shifts.
One more step to that. The young people are the ones that are sitting home complaining they don't have any money.
Well, I think the younger people too, they expect to jump over and be a professional before going through all the various steps. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a lot of younger people in the Generation Y,
sure,
or whatever. You're a boomer. I'm a Gen X.
No, I'm not a boomer. I'm higher than a boomer. I'm the one before the boomer.
Oh, Stone Age.
So yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I think that's really, really true, because I think the generation now, I think there's been so much entitlement and so much coddling, that I think we're in deep shit in 10 years.
Oh, yeah. They think they should have the money without doing the work.
That's true. That's exactly true. And I'll tell you, I think this, and I could go back to this butt thing real quick. They made a young woman.
The butt man.
No, they made a young woman a VP and she was young. She had no freaking clue what the hell she was doing, but they made her a VP, and she screwed this whole goddamn Budweiser thing up because she didn't have the experience of doing marketing at that level. So there's a prime example.
One thing about business is there's always somebody above you. And the one that was above her are the ones that made the mistake.
He's gone. But I guess you're right. I think a lot of them think that they should be hired. They should be get paid more than what they're getting paid.
Melissa just said that's why I get frustrated. I wasn't hired to be a babysitter.
Correct.
Yeah. What do you do when you have, Melissa? Don't take this the wrong way, because it's not on you. But what do you do when you find that people in your own house have that same kind of work ethic, and you're in a supervisory capacity, saying, well, you should be doing this, I believe you should be doing that, and they're not? What kind of a battle do you think goes on there? Now, just want to go ahead and say it, because I'll get screwed and tattooed on this one, is that Melissa's 3 kids that have, and Cameron is learning a very good work ethic. He's going to work and stuff like that. Megan, she's got a good work ethic. She's a worker bee, and we know it. And I've talked about Samantha. We graduate with 2 degrees, from UConn next month. So you can't say anything about that. My son has always worked. My daughter's a worker, and Rihanna is, well, she likes chips.
Chips are good.
Well, yeah.
But she's
kids-
interested in stuff. But she engages.
But all
So-
kids aren't like that. A lot of
No.
just because we're talking about a certain group of individuals doesn't mean that everybody within that group, expect to get everything for free. There are
This-
a lot of them that are busted.
Yeah.
Their
Here's something that's, and I think this is true.
Yeah.
Laura says my employees either love me or hate me. The ones that hate me are usually the ones that are not doing their job.
That's true.
Coach, fire.
Yeah.
But you can't do that these days.
No, you really, because you have to. It's like
You
living-
can, but you know what? You'll be working by yourself.
because you live in a glass
I
house.
disagree.
Then you better keep hiring and hiring and hiring.
Because coach fire is to get rid of the bad people. You can't just look at it one side and say, I'm just going to eliminate the bad people and keep the good people. You have to also look at the good people and reward them for being good.
Mhm.
No.
So let's say I have 10 employees and we'll use the 80-20 rule. 80% of those aren't doing anything and 20% are doing all the work. If I fire 3 through coach fire of the bad people and turn around to the good ones and say, I'm going to give you an extra $1 or $2 an hour because you're the ones doing the work, you're going to get those people to stay on board. And those other few people that are on the fence now are going to start swinging towards being a good employee.
I really disagree with that. And no.
We can agree to disagree.
I know, and I'll tell you why. Because number one, leopards don't change their spots. I mean, if somebody's not engaging with what you are doing,
Mhm.
they're not going to engage no matter what. Number two, I never ever thought it was about the money. Never. But I think people stay when they get recognized.
Right.
That's when they stay. It's not about an extra buck an hour or anything like that. Number three, you're firing people.
Mhm.
You still have to hire people to fill those spots.
I know.
Well, then who's going to do the work?
The 20% that's been doing the work.
I don't know. I think that right there would be asking too much. You know what I mean? Because now all of a sudden you're putting a lot more on, and then someone's going to get grumpy. Someone's going to get grumpy, and the reason why is like if you get rid of 3 people, right? And so you've eliminated 120 hours of payroll.
Right.
Someone's going to get hip to that
Mhm.
and say, dude's just saving money, man.
That's right.
Right, but they're going to get hip to that, and now all of a sudden their work they get begrudged.
Right. But which would you rather have? 10 people where 2 people are doing all the work, or 5 people where 5 people are doing all the work? You can reduce payroll and still be more productive.
You can, but I don't think that's a solve all. I think what I would rather have is find something within the company that the person is going to be affluent at and want to do. And this is where I think coach, what you call coach fire is you want to go ahead and say, okay, well, we tried to do this. We tried to do that. This didn't work.
Mhm.
It's very possible that they're not working because they just don't like what they're doing.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
That's the first step of coach.
Right.
The first coach is having a conversation. And in that conversation, you go, you're not doing too well in stationery. Why don't we move you over to lingerie?
Is that what happened to you, Chris?
Yes.
Is there women's lingerie you like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Victoria says it's crazy when my 19-year-old makes it. My 19-year-old makes at his job almost $28 an hour. Okay, that's good. Give him the pat on the back. He'll like that more than the $28 an hour. Will go a longer way. Daryl goes, ugh. That's it.
Okay, Daryl.
No, I hated trying to meet metrics when they had me training new employees and covering for the ones that weren't doing what they were supposed to. So you do get, that's part of what I was saying there. You're going to get pullback and you're going to get resentment.
Sure.
But you don't want resentment. That right there is more toxic to your staff than the people you fired.
Resentment from who?
Well,
From the two that are doing all the work?
Yeah. I think if you reward the 20% after you've gotten rid of 30%, then after a while you're going to get resentment from that 20%.
I disagree.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, because there's always going to be one, at least one, they're going to say, and this goes back to what I was saying. Hey, all he's doing is get rid of those guys. We're doing more work. We got $1 more an hour. You know what? We should be getting more than that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree. There's always going to be, show me any rule, I'll show you an exception.
Right, but that's another 10%. It's going to be, that's not engaging with your company anymore.
And the first step is coach. You used to be an A+ player. Now you're being a B+ player. Is there something going on that I need to help you with?
The other thing is I feel that if you overcoach, it almost makes the employee feel like you are trying to find a reason to fire them.
And
it's perception.
I agree 100%. I would never, ever overcoach. But what I would do is show them or try and teach them to look through my eyes. If I'm a retail expert, which I consider myself to be pretty damn good at retail.
Yep.
If I'm a retail expert and I've got a brand new kid in there, I'm going to take him on a walk of his department and show him the things I look for. I'm going to train him to do the positive motions.
Okay. Chris, hey, good morning, Chris.
Hi.
Not you. Another Chris.
Oh, hi, Chris. Chris.
She says it starts at home. Parents set the tone and the guidelines. Parents set the tone and set the guidelines, enable or not. I think that's very important. Daryl, we got a bunch of comments here. Daryl, I've never seen big box fire bad people. The good people always quit.
I have. I've seen both.
Yeah. Shannon, good morning. They'll continue to do less for more money, which is, I think, the toxic employee.
Sure. Coach, fire.
Erica, next couple of comments I'm pretty much hip with personally. Erica says you can coach all you want, but when it comes to physical work like construction, slow moving, and dumb doesn't change. Trying to find actual people that want to work is impossible.
Right. I'm speaking from a retail point of view. I agree 100%. The other thing that happens in construction is the A players soon figure out that they can make a ton more money doing their own contracting versus working for somebody.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if we can segregate retail and then put it on its own little island. I think that work ethic is work ethic. If you're working in a store and you're working in electronics in a retail store, if you have a bad work ethic and you end up leaving, you're going to have the same bad work ethic if you become a dietary aide somewhere else. Totally different job, totally different everything.
Oh, sure.
I think you're still going to have that bad work ethic. And I think this goes back to, I agree with Chris, where that work ethic and everything really starts at home. It starts with school. And I think that's another thing. I think kids are just pushed through.
But the typical scenario at home nowadays is if you can get your entire family to sit down for a meal, every last one of the people at that table has their cell phone out.
Yeah.
So we are not
Because
training a
it's
work
accepted.
ethic.
Right. Exactly. Because it's accepted.
Right. So where do you train the work ethic if it's not being trained at home?
What do you think I do at dinner? Put your damn phone away.
But that's you. I'm saying that's not the norm.
This is the 10 minutes a day we're going to sit and talk to one another.
With words.
Yeah.
That aren't
Don't text me. I'm across the table.
Yeah.
Melissa says, agree. It sounds great in theory, but it doesn't work. I've been in this position way too long. I would be the one getting screwed with picking up after other people slack. Rachel in Southern North Carolina.
Hi, Rachel. How's the sunshine?
Because I like the Attaboys but I also hated all the other ones that were being coached and was able to do less and still get the same pay.
Well,
Right.
And I think that's what we're talking about.
That's because coaching didn't go far enough.
Here's an example of that.
Coaching doesn't always react.
Now,
I agree.
when it comes to your year-end salary, usually you get a raise, right? And
Mhm.
then there's an
Annual
added
review.
bonus on top of that raise. Well, what happens with a lot of companies, rather than rewarding the good employees with a higher percentage, what they're afraid to do, they give everybody the same percent.
Right.
So if you're a good employee, bad employee, you get the same bonus percentage. And
Which-
that's how they work.
Which goes to another point on this topic is not only can there be good and bad employees, but there can be good and bad managers.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with you.
And all right, Laura says it's a vicious cycle. Coach, fire. Get rid of the quote unquote bad employees. No applications to fill positions. No quality applicants. Run short staffed, and remaining employees get burnt out. Good employees leave.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think if you're, to me, coach, fire means you're looking to get rid of somebody. Look,
Right.
I'm not talking about from the managerial standpoint. I'm
Your-
talking about
your
from the
perspective.
employee. What's the end game? Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Larry. Hey, Larry. Good morning. Nothing ruins a good employee faster than a bad manager or terrible manager. That
I
is
agree.
straight up.
I've had a few of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've definitely had a few of them.
I've been, and I'm not perfect, but I have had very good luck with back in my retail days. I still have people that work for me that we're good friends now.
You know what I
You
had
know,
happen to me a number of
Even
times?
people that we hear doing this, most of them are very good friends.
You know what happened to me a number of
So a
times?
couple.
I've been hired into a position, and then the person that hired me quit.
Oh, well,
Happened to me at least 3-4 times now.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're going to hire you. I'm going to train you. And then they quit. And it's like, okay, what do I do now?
Erica says, not in my house as far as the phones at the table. No phones at the table. Granted, my husband is still at work, so it's just me and my son. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And Daryl, and I think you can't teach stupid. You can only manage it.
Right.
yeah. Stupid is what
Stupid is as stupid does.
yeah.
I think there's stupid. And then I think there's the unwillingness to learn.
I think it's more unwilling to learn,
Right.
more so than
They
anything.
play stupid.
I've had jobs.
Oh, yeah.
When I was younger, I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. But my mother said I needed to get a job. Why? Because I was paying rent. Right? I ended up getting a job at a place called Scooby's Chicken and Seafood. All right. It was a fast food joint. They had 4 restaurants altogether, one in Groton and one in Norwich around here.
Mm-hmm.
I went down, got the interview, got the job. I was hired pretty much on the spot. How old was I? I'm about 18 and a half. So I go down there and they said, go down there and teach this guy to cook. I couldn't even pour cereal. And they want me to cook fish. I'm like, what?
It's nice to see that you've learned how to pour cereal.
My God. But I'll be honest with you. I have learned I can cook, not as good as others, but I can cook. I can survive. But what I found is that I did not engage in that job, and there was zero amount of coaching
Mm-hmm.
that was going to change my mind. Was I considered a bad employee? Maybe. I considered myself I didn't care an employee because I
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
So and I took the job really on false pretenses, but I was 18 years old. All I saw was a paycheck ready at $5 an hour. Kids, they don't get it. They don't get it.
It's back when cars were like $3 grand.
So you're gonna work at a roller rink, huh? Yeah. What are you making? $4.50 an hour. Oh man, you're making bank. I'm taking home about 130.
Wow.
Wow, it's funny. It's about the same I'm making now. But
I was digging ditches at 18.
huh?
I worked as a laborer.
Yeah, my first job.
Because I went to school. I was a carpenter, and they had the Peter's Apprentice program. Guess what? You did all the crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first job was making
dig that
pallets.
ditch, boy. You know, that was how it was back then.
Yeah.
You know the lumber mill over on Scotland Road?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first job making
Really?
pallets. Yep. We tried to convince the guy to pay us by the pallet instead of by the hour. He wasn't going for it.
Rachel says, as a supervisor, I was in a company that tied your hands with the coaching policy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important to know. And it was hard to weed out the toxic.
Right.
Why? Because you were following a policy. You weren't following your job.
And because she had poor managers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even today.
Oh, yeah.
It's even today, right?
It's not fixed.
We all do something, right?
Mhm.
We all have to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to make decisions. No, you don't, Paul. But
No.
well, you do actually. I mean, they're for your pot farm.
Yeah. He has to
Yeah.
decide what seeds to use.
Exactly. I have to make decisions here, right? Sometimes not the most popular.
No.
No.
Not you, Mike.
No.
Mr. Popularity.
Some of those decisions I have to put up with.
He's Mr. Popularity.
Oh, no.
He's popular.
Yeah.
So,
Like
He's
the
talking
tree.
a good game right now, but when it comes down to reality,
oh, no. I put my money where my mouth is, kid. Let me tell you.
I don't see any dollars floating out of
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. If somebody calls me out on something, damn it, I say, all right, you know what? You got me. Then freaking move on. That's what I say.
Mike, moving on.
Moving on.
I just think sometimes, you know, that you get pissed off about something,
Mm-hmm.
then it just turns into that really hurt.
Moving on.
Like the field.
No. You find out exactly how thin things are. My niece's parents have a cell phone basket at dinner time.
Wow.
The cell phones go in the basket for at least an hour, and then after all the dinner and cleanup is done, and then they could have it back, and that seems to work pretty well.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I
that's a
agree.
great idea.
I agree.
That's
Simple
got
to
to
the
be. That's got to be.
If we could get the other
Not many people do
99%
that.
of the population to do that, I think that would be stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, go into any restaurant and what do you see?
Yeah.
People sitting at a table. What do they got in their hand? Phone.
My wife and I went down to Longhorn not too long ago, and there was a mother sitting at a table with two sons. They were both in soccer gear, and all three of them were on their cell phones. Not a word was being said. I'm like, that's just sad.
Melissa, are you hearing this?
No,
Right.
you're right.
Mama,
I got-
can you hear me?
I got a little sketchy with Melissa yesterday. We went out to dinner, and she knows I hate this. She knows it. So we're sitting there at a restaurant,
Yep.
and we sat there. First thing she does,
And you were like, hello, I'm over here. Hello. Woo.
I just sat here and went, "I'll wait."
Oh boy.
Take your time.
Done. Then I said, "Anything on social media that's riveting today?" No. I hate
Yeah.
hate it.
Melissa, I've got a great plan for dinner tonight.
If that's one thing I hate, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get to the table, the phone upside down.
Unless it's breakfast.
There goes. Yeah, unless it's breakfast. That's different. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, he
You know.
sits there and looks at his phone while he's eating breakfast.
We're like, woo, we're over
No,
here.
you're right. He does the same thing.
What?
While you're eating breakfast there, you've got that phone out and you're looking at all this stuff.
Yeah, I figure everybody else is gonna look. So what the hell? No one's.
I don't take
But
my-
don't start talking to me, and all of a sudden it's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's he
Please
doing
stand,
now?
please stand by.
What's he doing now? Yeah.
It's my daughter.
He's,
We're taking a brief commercial interruption.
One of her duckies died.
there you go. Same thing. Oh, no, you got your
Was it the chocolate one?
No, it's an actual real duck.
whatever. It was a funny thing.
I will tell her that.
It was a funny thing that a woman bought her 2 kids some chocolate bunnies
Mhm.
and she filled it with mustard.
Nice.
Just bit into them and it's like, wow.
You know what's funny is taking.
It was Howard the Duck.
It was Howard.
See,
Howard.
that's not good.
What is Marvel going to do now? Take a jar of mayonnaise,
That's
take all the mayonnaise out of it, and put vanilla yogurt in there, and then just walk into like the living room, sit down on the couch, and start eating. See a lot of dry heaving going on.
Yeah. Or take one of those cups, like if you're in the hospital, that you're supposed to go ahead and urinate
Put
in.
apple juice in.
Put
it.
apple juice in and goes, hey, it looks cloudy. Better run it through. Better run it through again.
that'd be pretty.
Victoria says, I reach over, take the phone right out of my hubby's hand. It goes in my purse for the duration of the meal. Sweet. So I think we've kind of ripped through the whole dinner thing.
Beating the horse to death.
Huh?
We've beaten this horse to death.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's a lot. There's many ways you can go, in this conversation when it comes to employment. I don't know anything about employment law,
Right.
or anything like that. So
Yeah,
that's-
everybody strives. They want to manage people. They want to manage people until you get there.
I don't want to manage.
And then you
people.
find out, oh my God, what the hell did I do?
I want to make
It could be
That's it.
it could be fun, but on the other hand, it could be, I gotta leave early. I gotta go here. I gotta go where? Well, you gotta treat this one like you treat that one, and it's like, oh God, it's not all fun.
I
and
think
games.
that when it comes down to it, when I would treat my customers like they were my neighbor, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I would talk to them like they were my neighbor. And that isn't, hi, how are you? I'm Mike. How can I help you today? No. It's, hey, how are you? What's going on? And then I would get into conversations with people that people would look at me and go, I can't believe you just said what you said to that person. Why? It's a conversation. We were both kidding around, and that was it. I get that all the time. People are like, how did you say that without getting smacked? I'm like, I don't know, because they knew I wasn't BSing them, whatever. But I would treat my employees the same way.
Oh yeah.
I would treat the employees the same way, because they knew I cared about my customers, so they know I cared about them. If they didn't care about me, if they were only cared about the damn self, then there was a problem.
Yep.
If you're only worried about you and what you want and what you think you should get, what you think you're entitled to,
Mm-hmm. When I worked for
people weed themselves out.
the big blue box, I had the luxury of working for a district manager that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He would walk your department with you, show you where you could improve. But the thing that made me really respect this guy is he knew every employee's name and knew about them.
Yeah.
He would stop and have conversations with every employee. Tom, how you doing? Hey, how's your dog?
Yeah.
Right.
And it always made me think, this is the kind of guy that you want to aspire to be.
No, you're right. I mean, they're. Oh God, let me get a big bass beer. Oh, you just went out.
They don't want. They
went out.
don't want nothing to do with you.
You start flying across. Go, it's too hot in here. I'm going
They
outside.
go. Oh, those sunflowers. Oh, they're fake. and he's out.
Those sneaky bastards.
No, you're right. There are some people in executive positions that would treat you just like any other individual. I was in an airport one day. We were coming back from someplace, and the president of CLMP was getting on the plane with us. Hey, you want to watch my bag for me? Oh, sure, why not? You know, then he'd sit there and have a conversation with him. Now, there's a president of CLMP at the time. You know, so those are the kinds of people that you can like. You know.
Yep.
Didn't. He puts his pants on the same way you put your pants on. So what the hell's the difference? But
the difference, they don't answer calls.
He puts his pants on by jumping forward into a full summy and landing with both legs in.
Yeah.
I thought that was just me.
So, yeah, but there are some executives that are really good. They'll sit down and talk. Now, whether they do that today, I don't know. I mean, this is years ago. So
Right.
Today, companies are probably afraid to, I don't know.
I'm actually looking for something.
Yeah, I haven't had the CEO of SNSN sit down with me yet.
Not yet?
No.
Yeah, well, let me say something. Your coaching opportunity has been expired. All right. So
Another good boss that I worked for was in the big orange box. He used to bring the department managers in and review all the numbers on the P&L.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is what it means. This is why it's important to us. So that when you looked at the P&L, when you looked at your department's numbers, you knew what was going on. He taught us how to understand retail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about at all, not just today, but what's tomorrow?
Tax day?
Saturday.
April 15th.
Yeah, tax
My
day.
brother's
So-
birthday.
And
Hope you got your taxes done.
or you filed an extension.
I file extension.
Huh?
Yeah.
I got back everything I paid in.
Yeah, if you file an extension, you can go all the way to the fall, for Christ's sakes. If you file an extension, you can go all the way to the fall.
Yeah.
Where you have to put them in.
So yeah. Oh, you can go further than that if you need to. I haven't had.
I heard that it's been pushed back to the 18th. Taxes. No, seriously.
Because of Monday, because it's a holiday, because it's a week, it falls on a weekend.
Right.
Yeah, so you can actually Monday you can send it.
Yeah.
We think.
Yeah, so don't freak out yet.
No, because you know what happened is well, Mike and Chris said next thing you know, then we're audited because
I tell you what, Sunday night at 6:00, it's time to start worrying.
If you don't owe money, then get rid
Yeah.
of them. If you owe money, then wait till the last minute. Yeah.
So, all right. Our next game that we have is going to be Monday. It's going to be Griswold against Plainfield baseball.
Aha.
I
hit the ball.
Huh?
I hit the ball.
I hit the ball. I run down the bases. So,
I think Monday, there was some showers. I thought I saw weather.
No, Paul,
We'll
it's
see what happens.
Monday. It means it's time for you to take a shower.
yes. There are other sports that are going on this weekend, and luckily, I actually had a referee, one of the referees in the state of Connecticut, that actually sent me all of the golf schedule and lacrosse schedule because nobody else did. So
I'm confused.
I couldn't find it. I didn't know what.
There's other sports besides baseball, football, and basketball?
Yes, sir.
Is there?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
So I hate to tell you.
How's our curling team doing?
Well, that's hairdressing.
Ah,
Showers Monday.
Is it?
Showers Sunday.
Yeah.
play indoors.
Showers tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, they'll play indoors. So,
Yeah.
But the lacrosse team, which is actually it's Griswold Ledyard Griswold, they play tomorrow against Stonington, and so actually I want to thank Michael Thomas for sending me these schedules, which was awesome of him.
Another mic.
Well, you know what it is that I couldn't find it. I and that's on me. But I looked and I looked and I looked. And then finally, I said it. Does anybody know? And then Mike Thomas.
Like magic, huh?
Yeah.
So he's Magic Mike.
You think.
Okay. You go, Mike.
You think there would have been others. And Tuesday, there's They're playing golf. 3 o'clock. Wyndham and Parish Hill against Griswold. That'll be at River Ridge.
Sweet.
They'll be selling tickets and
River Ridge is a nice place to
It
play
is.
golf for
It
high
is. It
school
is.
golf.
Long
Yeah, it
drives.
is.
I mean, they're long. They're big. I mean, it's not a real short.
No, they're par fives, especially the one on the back nine, the one that dog legs to the left. That's a beast. And the green, God bless them for designing a green like that.
It's been around a long time now. That green, that whole golf course.
That was my
Yeah.
go-to course when I was playing golf.
all right, guys. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you
No,
again.
thank you, Mike.
No, thank you.
No.
Well,
Thank you.
It's actually it's a good to see you again because you haven't been in a few weeks. So.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Doing stuff.
Doing stuff. Actually, last week was my fault. It had nothing to do with you. So.
Mike blew me off.
Blew everybody off.
Yeah, he threw me off. I was up ready to go out the door. I'm not going in today.
I had things. I had stuff.
He had stuff.
Things.
Leave him alone. He's got stuff.
Yeah, I don't care if you got stuff. Just tell me a little.
I know you don't care.
You got stuff, but tell me Thursday night.
Well, sometimes things come up
Oh.
that. Oh, look, he's out. He's out. That's it. He's done. He's
Funny thing, I could hear everything.
Nah,
Mike
his
was-
microphone's off now too, so it's like he's done.
I could hear everything Mike was saying without headphones on.
He's get through here. Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah. Your earlobes are dripping.
Earlobes. All right, have a good day, everyone. Daryl, I'm going to drop off that computer right after my massage. So, not really. All right, have a good day, everyone. Have a good weekend. Be safe and enjoy the sunshine. See you later.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of